When I was driving in this morning, it was raining really hard, and the sun was shining at the same time. Now, in my family, when that happens, people say, "The devil is beating his wife." I have no idea what that means. Of course, we don't believe in a devil, but if we did, it's more likely his wife would be beating him, I think. But there is no devil, there is only God, and our topic this morning is the highest name of God. Now, we know there are many names for God. Across religions and cultures, and even within religions and cultures, there are many names for God. But what is the highest name for God? In the Abrahamic tradition, God did not have a name until Moses had the cleverness to actually inquire about it. When God appeared to him in the burning bush, Moses asked, "What is your name?" And what did God reply? Ayah, Ashad, Ayah, I am that I am. In many religious traditions, the name of God is of crucial significance because it is thought to impart something of the divine nature, just by speaking it, by knowing it and by speaking it. This is ever so true in Islam, where the 99 names of Allah enumerate his attributes: the compassionate, the merciful, the forgiving, the omniscient, the magnificent, the propitious, the immutable. That's just a small fraction of the long list of the names of Allah. In metaphysics, we have a pretty long list as well. Infinite spirit, divine love, universal mind, creative law, just to name a few. Now, Emma Curtis Hopkins has some very, very interesting one-of-a-kind names for God. Those of you who are taking my class or reading Emma know this to be true. The one inhabiting eternity, the vast countenance, that's Reverend Mary Jo's favorite, the waiting adequate, the obedient supreme, and the author of omniscience. Aren't those wonderful? Now, despite Emma's creativity and originality in naming God, for her it actually boils down to one simple statement, which is, the first name of God is good. The first name of God is good. In Scientific Christian Mental Practice, she writes, "To acknowledge God is to admit we are seeking our good." So I propose that our names for God are always consistent with our idea of the good we are seeking. And for us, the highest name of God is parallel with our highest idea of good in the moment, in any situation. When we get in touch with the thing we desire the most. Let me give you some examples. A band of early humans who braved the mystery of darkness and its potential dangers night after night awoke each morning and called God light. A farmer who had struggled for many seasons with drought and failing harvests beheld his lush fields of thriving crops and called God rain. The people of a war-torn nation, battle-weary and broken down when the fighting finally ceased, fell to their knees and called God peace. A pair of scientists at the height of the Industrial Revolution, realizing their discovery would forever change humankind for the better, congratulated each other and called God innovation. A cancer survivor, having laughed at the odds and defied medical science, crossed the finish line of her first marathon and called God health. An Olympic team from a small country not known for their athletic accomplishments stepped up to the platform to receive their gold medals and called God strength. A single mother who worked 3 jobs to keep her children fed, clothed, and educated fell into bed at the end of a very long day and called God rest. An artist, having stretched canvas, mixed colors, and worked day and night to complete a collection of paintings, stood before her guests at the opening and called God expression. A group of parents watching their children play at the beach, running into the waves and jumping in the surf, smiled and called God joy. A corporate executive boarding a private jet for a world summit at which she was the keynote speaker, sipped champagne and called God success. A gardener, after preparing the soil, propagating the seeds, and carefully nurturing each plant as it grew to maturity, walked through her flowers and shrubs and called God beauty. A first-time grandmother, rocking her newborn baby grandchild to sleep, gently kissed her on the forehead and called God love. There are many, many, many names for God. And the highest name is the one we speak in those moments where we feel satisfied, complete, and provided for, when our prayer is answered, when our demonstration has taken form. When it appears God has given us the greatest gift of all, we speak its name in the highest way, and we give thanks. Notice I said, when it appears God has given us the greatest gift of all. We'll come back to that. But since Thanksgiving is only a few days away, we need to have a serious conversation about gratitude. Otherwise, I'll get in trouble when Jay gets home from Monterey. I talk a lot about gratitude. I talk a lot about how gratitude is intricately interwoven with receptivity. We're going to talk about gratitude in a bit of a different way today, because this week, as we get together with our loved ones and we're giving thanks, I want that to count for something. I want it to make a difference in your life and the lives of others around you. When you appreciate your good, it shouldn't just be an exercise in futility or the monotonous repetition of a tradition. We do this because we've always done it. Okay? There's no point in giving thanks willy-nilly. We want to do it in a way that has meaning, that has substance. So what if you could actually give thanks in a way, a very substantive way that creates tangible results? See, I'm not in this teaching for fun or for the big bucks, God knows. I'm in it because it works, and I want to be centered in it all the time and reminded of how it works so that I continue to work it. I'm in it for the good stuff. Now, a few minutes ago, and the reason I said when it appears God has given us the greatest gift of all, I said appears because in reality, God does not give us anything at all, ever. Some of you look confused and some of you are nodding in agreement. Okay. Everything we think of as good was already there. It was already created. It was anticipating our discovery of it. It was awaiting our receptivity to it. Every bit of good we have ever demonstrated was not given to us. Rather, it became visible to us when we recognized it and said yes to it. In my lecture a few weeks ago, I talked about the efficacy of denial in realizing our good. Using denial statements is a very powerful way to rid ourselves of poverty, sickness, loneliness, any other negative condition we may be manifesting. And the approach is very simple. We deny such conditions any power because they belong to the realm of effect, or what we call matter. Because there is no reality to matter, it disappears when we formally deny it. In making our denials, we have to be careful not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Right? See, when we deny matter, everything we consider to be matter will go away, including health, money, love, people, flat-screen TVs. Okay. Things we value but have unconsciously mistaken for matter.